Hello everyone! Welcome back to, again, the improbably named Board Games with me, Evil Dr. Ganymede, who is in the middle of a Space Empires 4X game, solo game against the Replicators, which I've never played before, so it's a pretty good excuse to have a crack at it, to do it on a stream. So far it's been really rather interesting. I've played the Doomsday scenario before, the Doomsday Machine one from the base game, and that was pretty fun. And the video for that is on in the video archives here on Twitch and on YouTube. But this Replicators one, I've had the box for ages, and never actually got around to giving it a shot. But yeah, it's turned out to be quite interesting. It's a lot, it's a bit more involved than the Doomsday Machine one, which was just, you know, 3 machines coming in on autopilot, laying waste to everything. So I'm trying to follow the rules from the Replicators expansion for this. Sometimes they're a little bit funny to interpret, so I'm kind of more using them as a guideline than a hard rule set, but it should give you an idea of how it plays anyway. So if you are unfamiliar with these, I mean, this is sort of the intro bit here before I get really into it, but if you're unfamiliar with these, this is what we're looking at. So this is the game. It is Space Empires. It is by GMT Games. It may be getting a little hard to find now, as apparently it's gone. It's just going or gone out of print. At least I think that means like GMT doesn't have any stock of it left, but there's probably still stuff on the shelves in your gaming stores. So keep an eye out for it. It's a really good sci-fi 4X war game, and it's also really good for people who aren't really into, you know, your proper full-on hex and counter World War II etc. war games. Like, this is a good one to get started, or even just to try out the wargaming side of things. It's like there's the same kind of thing as Eclipse, Twilight Imperium, you know, games like that. But this is a lot more focused. It's a lot more tightly focused, I think, than those two. Eclipse is kind of fun, but there's a lot more. Not sure how to describe it. I guess it's more Euro-y. There's more, you know, you're moving cubes around. You're not just focused on. You know, your primary focus isn't really the destruction of the other races on the board. It's you know, there's a whole bunch of different ways you can get points in Eclipse. But there's obvious elements that these games have in common. Like Eclipse has the Ancients, who are the sort of alien race that guard some hexes, and we've got the alien ships here. That are sort of the same sort of thing. There's black holes, there's supernovas, there's planets to colonize, etc. Space Empires is a lot more focused, I think. It's more, your sole aim is to kill the other guy. Like, you blow up the other empire, you destroy their homeworld, you win the game. And it's entirely geared towards that. There's no, oh, I could turtle up and, you know, study monoliths or something instead and get points that way. It's just, nope, you're building up your fleets, you're colonizing your worlds to get resources that let you build up your fleets, and then you go out and you destroy, you know, lay waste to everything in your path, basically. And you have these, you have these, there's a little bit of spreadsheetiness that's going on. I don't know if you can see that very well, but this can be a little bit off-putting or intimidating, but don't let that put you off. because all this is a way to just go, I've got X amount of resource points this turn, what am I spending it on? And it just helps you keep track of that. That's all it is. So if you want a full breakdown of the game, you can watch watch my other Space Empires videos on it. I think this is the 5th one now. So it's the 3rd one of this particular game. The first 2 are the Doomsday Machine ones. These 3, hopefully we're going to finish this one today. I hope we are anyway, because I've got plans for doing other things on Friday on that stream. But hopefully we can finish this one today, and that will give you an idea. They'll give you an idea of what's going on, how it works, and so on. I guess before I finish the other stuff here, I'll just show you the other expansions. So this is Close Encounters, which just arrived last week. This is the first expansion for the game, which has a ton of extra rules and options and things. And this is the Replicators expansion, which is what these guys are from that we're playing against. They're, as I said before, they're essentially like the Borg or the Replicators from Stargate. This machine intelligence that goes around and consumes all the worlds in their path and converts it to things that are useful for them, and and generally all the biological races are terrified of them. So in our current situation, I am the Yellow Empire down here, and I have been frantically trying to explore my worlds and set up colonies and so on and build fleets. The Replicators are the purple guys up here, and they have now pushed through. They've found a path into our space, largely through here. So there's a nebula here that they can get through, there's a nebula here that they can get through, there's a black hole in the way, black holes in the way here that they're not going to go through, fold in space that they don't like, and also it doesn't go anywhere at this point. So there's some interesting terrain going on here, like interesting obstacles blocking paths and funneling people into certain directions. The ones on the side here, they just mark a boundary here. That's just the edge of the board. It just basically says don't go beyond this point, this line, and similarly over here. Those ones are the edge of the universe for us. And there's also a barrier essentially back on here and up here where we can't go in either, but I just didn't want to throw more 1 counters away on that one. Yeah, we're currently at a somewhat tense situation. The Replicators here have, as far as I can gather, a massive fleet. They are sorry, let me adjust my chair so I can get closer here. Right, so they have a massive fleet here. Now we know what these are because we're playing a solo game, but at the moment these are all unconfigured hulls, and this is either 2 fleets, one at 3 and one at 6, or they're a single fleet of 9. I haven't quite decided. The rules are a little bit unclear on what they do. They're technically 2 separate fleets. But I'm, like I said, I'm using the rules as a kind of guideline, and I'm just trying to get the Replicators to do something. If in doubt, they're going to do something sensible that a human player would do, rather than just follow the rules in a flow chart. So it's not a strict playing of the flow chart if that's what you're expecting. But at the moment, they were backing away from me because my fleet here, although this is a 9, this is measured in terms of hull points. This is a 3, 4, and these are 5 2-hull cruisers. So this is a 14, and their fleet is 9 hull points worth of stuff. Now the interesting thing with the Replicators is, if you can see that at all, I don't know if how well that's going to show up, but there you might be able to see some of the stuff at the bottom here, is that they've got they accumulate research points, and when they do that, they can use those to convert their unconfigured hulls into specific kinds of ships. And you can see on the table over here that there are, or hopefully you can see anyway, that there are increasingly powerful ships the more research points they have available. And they get research points from examining my technology. And so far, because I've thrown this fleet at them before, they know about my flagships, my cruisers, my defense technology that I have, my scouts as well, and between all that and the research point that they bought earlier on, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a space wreck, 6 points, which will allow them to make a Type 5 ship, which is a D6220, which means they're kind of slow. They'll my cruisers will fire on them before they fire on me, which means I can blow them up. But they have a good attack of 6, so I have to roll under a 6 on a D10 to attack them, to hit them, or to hit me. And they have a defense of 2, which means they subtract 2 from my attack roll when I'm trying to hit them. And they have a hull size of 2, which means they can take 2 hits before exploding. So that's them at the moment. If they can get more research points, they are going to get into the Type 7 area here, which is a C6, a 2 defense, 2 hull, and 1 tactics, which means that they can attack. Theoretically, they would attack before my cruisers. The difference there being I also have research tactics 1, which means that in that situation, whoever is the defender will go first. But anyway, the more points they get, the bigger the ships, the more powerful the ships, the more scary the ships they can build, and that's what I don't want to get. The other subtlety here is my ultimate aim here is to try and destroy their homeworld, which is Alpha over here. The only way I can do that is if I have transports, which are a specific kind of ship, that are in the fleet that's going that way to blow everything up. Because when that fleet bombards their planets, that transport is going to have anti-replicator technology on it, because that's a technology that I have bought previously. And that will prevent that colony from coming back, because if I don't have those transports there, if I destroy that colony and break it down to from 5 to 3 to 1 to 0, it doesn't actually stay at 0. It will come back up without those transports there. So I have to get to that homeworld with a transport, and I haven't built any yet, I realised last time. So it's that's an interesting situation. I have to build some. I haven't built any this turn. I have to build some next turn or something, I guess, and send them on their way. Now my plan, because I've got this fleet hovering around here and probably coming my way, and it's also going to get a whole bunch of more add-ons to it, so it's going to be less scared of me. I've got these alien worlds in the way that have these very paranoid alien ships guarding them, and those are they're very paranoid. Like they know they're surrounded by crazy maniacs and sentient, all devouring machines, and they will take pot shots and just try and destroy all comers to their system. Fortunately, they only have 4 ships, although they are reasonably well equipped. I have 5, 6, 7 ships, and all of my ships have, except one, have more than one hull point on them. So, in theory, I should be able to go in here, annihilate this lot with hopefully not too many casualties. And once I've done that, I can see what this hex is. And if this is something that is not a black hole or a supernova, I can go through here and round the back here to at least to this point, and sort of maybe sneak around to the home world over here. The worst case is that it's a black hole or supernova and it's a dead end, because I can't really go through there. The best case is if this happens to be another fold in space, I could potentially go in here and then go in here but actually end up coming out here, because a fold in space is like a shortcut between 2 hexes, and it's as if those hexes don't exist. You just sort of move into here and come out of here. So that would be awesome, because if I could do that, then I come out here and I'm just barging in straight for the home world. I'll probably still have to face the fleet though, and that's where it all could go horribly pear-shaped. Now that fleet could be of a mind to head towards my worlds, which are back here. And I'll have to look at what the manual says about that, what their general idea is, because there's a whole list of priorities for things that they want to get. But I think if there's a fleet in replicator space, a human fleet in replicator space, they'll all tend to want to go for that instead of my planets. So we'll see what happens. Alright, so we're at the beginning of turn 7. And I've just realised my dice tray is in the other room, so I'm going to go grab that. Okay, got my dice tray, there we go. And yeah, because I was testing out another game on the other table in the living room. Right, so we'll see how this goes. So the replicators are going first, unless I pay 15 CP construction points in my economic phase, which I didn't do. So they're going to go first. Now, let's see what they want to do. Just remind ourselves what their plan is. They never want to attack a superior fleet, so if I can keep my numbers up, they'll stay away from me, but that's probably not going to happen, because they're going to be getting a whole bunch more people in there, or more machines in their fleet. But again, yeah, this is the confusing part about these rules, because they talk about forming fleets and moving ships not in fleets and so on, but they don't really define what a formed fleet actually is, it seems. They also say that each fleet has a purpose, whether to attack, defend, or hunt down a ship in their space. They say replicator fleets never split. The only time they'll combine is to attack in concert that turn, so that's probably what they're going to do with me. They won't attack an inferior fleet on their own, but if combined they're superior, then they'll do that. Yeah. It's a little confusing how that works. And the superior fleet is something that has 25% more hull spaces than the other one. So that's how they judge superiority. Well, we'll kind of fudge things here. So in the first turn of turn 7, so all of these folks are going to head over here to this assembly point, since they're closer to it. 1, 2, 3. So that is essentially a three hull fleet. Okay. They will move there. These guys all want to move here, so they're gonna move. They're gonna move, and they're gonna move, and they're going to move, and they're going to move. Now, whether these folks want to move back, that's an interesting idea, isn't it? Because if they move back there, they're going to be able, if they sit there for another turn, there'll be a huge fleet because all these guys will come back in. And there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. 5 more coming in, and there's 2 there already, so there'll be 7 plus 9, there'll be 16, which will be more than enough to take me on here. Because my plan is to move this lot into the alien ship hex, and you know the Babbage world. There's a planet under here. So if I can get through them and then see what is in here, then I can see what we can do beyond that. So the alternative is that these guys stay here and then these all just sort of combine in turn 2, and then they join it in turn 3, and then they start coming out towards me. Because otherwise if they don't build up, they're not going to be wanting to attack me, and that seems a bit weird. Because they're not going to spend the whole day, the whole game just running away from me. They want to build up their forces. So if I move those 2 back there this turn, wait till turn 2, and then they'll move back out. That might be better. So I'm going to move these guys back here, and then we'll just stack these, and we'll assemble a big fleet there and see what else we can do. So the explorers are going to, so these are exploration ships that they have. This one's going to move over here because it still has this to check out, but it's not going to be able to scan it now because it has to scan then move. This one, however, can get a look at this one because he's not moving anywhere. So he's going to flip this over and see what it is, and it is a danger, which, because they're using exploration technology to remotely scan this hex, they can ignore that, it goes away. So this guy's mission is actually almost complete. In fact, he's not going to move into that, he's going to move over here because he wants to get closer to this one, and he'll explore the last unexplored area over there. So that's the replicator's first turn. The humans now, which is me, well, the obvious thing I want to do is move this lot into there and have a big mosh. the miner here is going to deposit their minerals back to Vega. This miner is just going to sit pretty here because there's nothing else they can do. We have a cruiser coming, 2 cruisers coming out here, so they're going to pop out that way. And head towards the main fleet and possibly reinforce it later on. The miner here isn't really going to do much because there's nothing for it to do. I might just scupper the miners, or scuttle. I never did figure out which word was the right word. But I might get rid of those because they don't seem to serve a purpose anymore without the mining. Could use them to terraform nebulae, because with terraforming 2 I could do that, but terraforming 2 costs 25 points, which I'd rather spend on ships, so I'm probably just going to leave them alone. Right, so I guess the question is it worth moving my, having my 2 cruisers join my fleet before I go into the alien ships territory? Let me just look something up here. So if we move, yeah, I think we could theoretically leave these guys here. Turn 2, these cruisers move here. Turn 3, they get 2 moves because we have movement technology of 2. They can move from here into here, and these guys can move into there as well, and then we'll have an even bigger fleet, which may be a good idea. So these may hold, although if this lot moves out next turn, they'll move there, and then they can move 2 as well, because they also have move 2, and they'll end up right here. And that could be an interesting problem. They may end up getting in our way. I think I'm going to move my fleet into this area now and deal with the alien ships. So let's have a fight on Babbage. Battle of Babbage. So we have alien ships, which you should be able to see there. So we're having our fight over this side of the board. We're going to have a battle. We have 5 cruisers, 1 flagship, and 1 scout. So let's replace all of the counters with the appropriate things here. So these are the 5 cruisers. This is the flagship. This is the scout. Right now we do not outnumber them 2 to 1. There are 4 of them. Right now the Argo fires first because it's a B. The cruisers, I think, fire second, and then the alien ships. Let me just double check that. I just want to make sure the alien ships do not have tactics. They do have a tactics. Oh, they have tactics rating of 1. That's fascinating. Okay. So they are the defenders. They get to fire first. So that's interesting. So this lot actually fire before my cruisers do, and then my scout. Then the D ship will fire here. The alien ship D. These are basically cruisers, and these are destroyers. And this scout will fire last. Now I have a defense of 1, defense tech of 1, so my cruisers are actually 4-2. My flagship is a 4-2, and my scout is a 3-1. They just have the technology that is shown on them. So these three are C5-2, and this is a D4-1. So they've got quite a good chance to hit ordinarily, but that's reduced to a 3 on me. I've got a terrible chance to hit on them because they have 2s. So this could be a drawn out kludge. This may not have been a great idea after all, but let's see what happens. So the Argo fires first. They are going to fire at one of the sea ships and hope for, they need to get a 2 or less. We have a 2, which is quite spectacular. So that's gone. So this is interesting now because there's 4, 5, 6, 7 of us and 3 of them. We outnumber them 2-1, so we actually get a fleet bonus, which is a +1 on the attack roll, which is glorious. So they are going to fire. The sea ships are going to fire at. What would they want to fire at? Scout would be easy to get out of the way. If they concentrated their fire on the cruiser though, and they both hit, they could destroy a cruiser, which would be a bit more sort of valuable. So they're going to try and take out one of the cruisers. Now they need, ordinarily they need a 5 to hit, but because I have a defense 1 and I have an inherent defense of 1 as well, they need a 3. And they roll, oh, they got a 5 and a 3, so 1 hit, but not 2 hits. And now my cruisers can fire back, so all 5 of them are going to let rip. Well, we do it one at a time. So first target is going to be one of the sea ships. That's a 7. They get my guys need a 2 as well to hit. It's a 3. That's a 3. And that's a 9. So they need the last cruiser. Actually will change its mind. Well, it won't change its mind, it's not fired yet, but he might go for the destroyer here, because that's got a defense of 1, which means he only needs a 3 to hit, and he rolls a 0, so they all miss. This is where this might be bad. So now the destroyer, the alien destroyer, takes a pot shot, and he's going to try and hit the cruiser. Now he needs a 2 to hit, and that's a 3, so that does not hit. My scout is going to try and take out the destroyer here, so they need a 2 to hit them. That's really a 0, I suppose, so that's not going to be a hit. Right. That was a bit sucky, but at least we got rid of one of them. So back to the top of the round, the Argo fires at, and they're going to try and take out one of these sea ships. So they need a 2 to hit. They get a 7. The alien sea ships fire, and they're aiming at, one's aiming at this cruiser and gets a 9. The other one aims at that cruiser and gets a 0. So they miss. There's going to be a lot of whiffing in this one. The cruisers here are going to fire at one of the well, they're going to fire at the D ship, so they're going to get a 4. That's a 1, so a 3. Sorry, a 3 to hit. 8. They're going to keep firing at it. 9. Good grief. 0. Good God, come on. 6. And one more. Come on. Somebody's got to take one of these guys out. 0. All terrible. All the cruisers miss. The D ship fires on the damaged cruiser and rolls a 6, which misses. The scout rolls and fires at the D ship and gets an 8, which misses. Why are you rolling high numbers, dice? This is not acceptable. Right, top of the round again. And the alien ships are not going to retreat, so this is going to be a drawn-out battle of attrition here. And I've gone into it with not terribly favourable odds, just more numbers really, because ordinarily I would get attack technology, which will increase my attack rolls, and I think I forgot my +1, didn't I? I'll remember it this time. But I can't get that now because that's going to provide a research point for the replicators, and that's going to be bad because that'll give them more points to build bigger ships with. So I'm kind of crippling myself almost here. But I'm crippling myself more because I forgot the fleet bonus that I had. But I will remember it now. So now I technically have a 5-1 on the Argo because of my fleet bonus. Because it's more than twice as big as they are. So I'm going to try and aim at, or try and hit one of the sea ships. So my hit roll now is a 3 because of their defense 2, and because I now have a 5 instead of a 4. I'm pretty sure I rolled some 3s before, so technically I should have destroyed them, but let's fire at a sea ship and see what I get. And I get an 8, which is useless. So now they fire. They're going to continue to try and destroy the cruiser. They need 3s. So that's a 2. One cruiser down. Can they damage another one? No. So I now have 4 cruisers. I'm still on 4, 5, 6. I'm still outnumbering them by 2 to 1. Let's just verify this. Yes. So, the sea ships have fired. Now my cruisers will fire, and they will fire on their cruisers. So now I have 3s to hit again. Come on, guys. 0, 9, 7. What is wrong with you? 4. Ugh. The destroyer here is going to fire at. He's going to try and take out the scout. So he needs a 3 because I have defense 1, and he rolls a 6. Scout is going to try and take out the destroyer. He needs so he's got a 4 attack, -1 defense there, so he needs a 3 as well. Come on, 3! We got a 3! We got a 3! So the destroyer, the alien destroyer, is gone. Now we're slowly getting advantage here. Back to the top. The Argo is firing at a cruiser, so now I got 5 minus 2 is 3. And I get another 3! Yes! The Argo finally takes one out. There's only one alien ship left. And they are going to fire... they're only one ship now, so the best they can do is take out one hull. So they're going to fire at the scout, and they're going to roll a 4 to hit the scout, and they got a 7. My cruisers are all going to fire. They have a 5, -2 is a 3 again. And I get a 1, which destroys the alien ship. So I am left with 4 cruisers. Amazingly, my scout survived. And my Argo and the scout are alive. And essentially, we have now destroyed the alien presence on Babbage, which is nice. So I think that's all for turn 1. So yeah, it was a bit of a not ideal combat. It was more out of desperation than anything else. But the net result is that we are now here and can now scan this if they don't scan it first. So, knowing my luck, it's going to be minerals, and I'll just grab them. But like I said, the ideal situation would be a fold in space. Now, this has also had the other side effect of weakening my fleet, because now I have 4 cruisers, so that's 8 hull points, plus 3 is 11. I've got 12 hull points, which means this fleet is going to be quite hugely outnumbering me, so I might have to get my cruisers up here. You know, it might be a question of both of us amassing our fleets, but the longer I leave it, the more likely they are to just outnumber me completely, because they're just going to be throwing more ships from their homeworlds or from their colonies. I mean, the other thing that the replicators can do, like I said, is just start heading towards not me, but this, like my colonies, which is what this lot might do, because they're going to start heading down towards here. I'll have to do some defending as well. So turn 2, let's see what's going to happen here. So Explorer is just going to move over here. This Explorer is actually going to scan this, because they get first dibs on that. So we'll flip this over and see what it is. It is a danger, so they are not going to move into that. That's not what I was hoping it would be. I was fervently hoping it was going to be a war pit, fold in space. Now, they know that human fleet is there. So they're probably going to back off. They don't want to be moving towards human space anyway. So they're going to hide in the asteroids there. Now, this big fleet over here, this has now got some additions. So we are now looking at a fleet of 3, 4, 5 hull points. Let's figure out what we've got here. We've got a single fleet of 5. We've got another fleet of 2, another fleet of 3, and another fleet of 6. Again, this is where the rules are really fuzzy, or really hard to pass on what they're supposed to do. Because we can have 2 fleets of 5 and 1 fleet of 6. So I'm going to take a moment and read through this again and just see if I can figure out what the intent is here. Because one thing I was thinking of was possibly splitting that fleet, or maybe putting some other fleet up there as a distraction, because at the moment these are the only that big battle fleet over here is the only thing that I have that's a fleet. But I could throw some of my miners even out there as bait to distract them. See, the priority is that they want to attack an undefended human colony, then attack an inferior human fleet, then attack an equal human fleet, then attack a non-player alien world, which are these guys, the ones I just destroyed, or move away or towards a human colony or human ships limited by self-preservation. And if it has a choice between a human colony or human ships, it will prioritize the human ships if the replicator ships are closer to replicator space than human ship space. So in this situation, I mean, it feels like they'd want to move towards the human fleet over here. And these guys are all on here, by the way. Yeah, it's really not really well explained, I think. Or at least I'm not understanding how it works. I mean, that's possibly more likely. So I think I'm going to put them on as 3 fleets for now. So we got a 6, a 5, and a 5. And then we're gonna send them off in directions. So I guess the 5 just kind of accumulated, so that they're not going to go anywhere. These guys are going to come out here though, the 5 and the 6. So they were gathering all those ships that just arrived. So they'll stay there. The 5 and the 6 are going to come out now. The Explorer, that one just moved there anyway, it's not going to scan anything. This lot are going to move into the nebula out here, and they're going to start heading this way. And sorry, this one's going to move towards the assembly point here as well. Right, my turn. So I could make a break for it. If I move there and then move 2, that'll get me there. That'll leave, but then the cruisers are going to be left behind, which I'm leery of leaving. But these guys next turn are going to move here. And I'd rather move this cruiser here this turn, and then next turn they can move and join that fleet. So I think I'm going to do that. They're going to stay around Babbage. I may just send my miners out as a distraction for the other fleets, or for the replicator fleets, and see what that does. Because if I can distract them with a closer thing to attack, that might dissuade them, or that might distract them from attacking my main fleet. So they're going to stay there. These guys are moving. Everyone else is going to stay still, I think. So turn number 3. So now the replicators can move 2 hexes. because they have moved too. So he's going to jump onto here and turn this into a 6. So that's a 6-hull fleet, which is starting to get scary. This is going to move over here. This explorer is going to scan this last hex and reveal it to be a danger, which it will ignore. Now what happens after that is done? So after, because there's no more places left to explore, so they're going to move towards the closest replicator colony and be converted to 2 hulls. It has to kind of go around the other side of this because it doesn't like folds in space. It's going to have to come all the way around here, or go back through here. Probably actually would be better. And he's going to go back in there as well. So he'll move over here, and he'll become a 2-hull fleet. So RIP exploration ship. He'll move. I believe their explorers have their movement tech, don't they? They should do. They could get an RP for attacking a non-player alien ship world, which is interesting. They need a replicator fleet of 12 hulls or more, which they're not going to want to do. But they could just sacrifice a hull to send into that, which is interesting. So he's going to move over here. The explorer ship won't go into the alien world here. But next round, or next turn, at the next phase at this point, one of these hulls could go into here and just essentially get destroyed, but they will get the research point for encountering an alien ship, which will put them up to 7, which will mean they can build the Type 7s, which means they're going to be quite terrifying. So yeah, so I think that's what's gonna happen with that lot. Here now, these guys can't enter this asteroid hex in 2 moves. They have to enter an asteroid, they have to be right next to it and then go into it, but they can go down here. And I think that's what they're going to do. So we're going to have a 6 and a 5 come down here. That will be bearing down on us now. Then it's going to be a bit of a race. And also I've got to get my transports out there somehow, which is not going to happen very easily. Yeah. It's a really interesting dynamic here, because you just don't want to... You know, I could be going, oh, I can improve my move tech or my attack tech, but it's just handing points to the replicators when they encounter you. And it won't count in that specific battle. But the next player turn, if they fight you again, it will have counted, and they will suddenly have the ability, well, if you encounter another ship, another fleet of unconverted hulls, they can suddenly convert into more powerful ones, because they can only unconvert back at colonies. So think that's them. I've got a threat on this side which I don't like much. I might have to build some bases or do something. This is where it all falls down. I'm so fixated on this plan, I haven't really planned on defending anything over here. I think I'm going to stick with plan A, which is throw a miner in their path here and do my move to 2 hexes in turn 3 and join up with the cruisers here, so I have 6 now. So I have a single group of cruisers that is now a 6 in that hex. And then, because if I throw the miner there, it'll get instantly destroyed, but it means that they still have to stop and deal with it for a turn. They can't just sort of go through. Although, I mean, they can't go through anyway, I suppose. That's a valid point, because if they come in here, like first turn, next phase, they're just going to come in here, and that's it. They're not going to be able to do anything else, so that's just destroying the miner for its own sake. I may have that just come over here, and then it will trail 1 hex behind them and be a kind of distraction at the rear. That might be a little bit of a better tactic. And then I'm going to move these miners out there and there. Because this is all my ships. Like, I have 3 miners, these are shipyards, and that's my main battle fleet. So, I mean, I've probably made a terrible decision here. But, like I said, this is the first time I played this as a replicator, so I have no idea what I'm doing against them. But I'm slowly learning how they work, and they'll probably ultimately trounce me. I'm trying to sort of avoid the big fleet, but it's going to come my way any minute. So, yeah, I'm going to keep that fleet there for now. And then we'll see what happens next turn. I might just sort of have to make a break for it there. So I think that's where we're at. So now we're at the production phase, which is filling out this sheet. And that is where I crunch some numbers. So usually I do the replicators first. But we did at least get this alien planet out of the way. Shame I didn't get anything for it. But, so the replicators have 35 points left over from last turn, because they mined the heck out of everything. They got no minerals this time though, so they still have 35 points to spend. Now that's dangerous, because that means that they roll on a table, which we showed last week. We decided they were going to roll on the green replicators or improved gunnery table, and see whether they buy a hull, buy a research point, or buy a move tech. And they will buy a research point. So they bought another research point. They have 5 left. That gets them up to 7. Which lets them build a Type 7 ship, which are the C6221s. They are not good. Not good for me, anyway. Right, well, they're done. Now so, yeah, sorry, this is the replicators sheet. So they're pretty simple to fill out. Me on the other hand, I have to decide on various technologies and so on. So my colonies, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 5 is 35 plus 30 is 65. I've got 5 minerals from dropping off the minerals at Vega earlier on. So I've got 70 points. Ships now, I do have a lot of ships. I've got 1 scout and I've got 6 cruisers, so that's 13 maintenance. You pay 1 per hull point. So I've got 57 left. Well, at this point, I have to wonder whether it is worth actually just taking either a move or an attack technology. I've got to build some transports though. Transports are 6. I could build a transport on Howlin. I could build 3 transports on Tempe, or Temp, Tempe, how you pronounce that. If I built 1 transport, I could send it out that way and they could follow maybe or something. I don't know, because they're probably going to get cut off by that fleet unless they can get ahead there. Right now we've got 11 hull points here versus 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's a quarter of 11. Nearly 3. I say, yeah, I do outnumber him still. So he still doesn't want to engage me, really. Because I am a superior force. That worked out interestingly. So I could take advantage of that. I think that fleet's going to have to want to join him, because this is a 6 and that will get that up to a 17, which will be bigger than me and therefore something he'll want to throw at me. So ultimately I'm still building things here, so what do I want to do? They've got 7 technology. They're probably going to get an 8th one over here. If they get 9, they can do a Type 9 ship, which is D6111. They're easier to kill, but they're slower in terms of where their initiative in the combat, but they pack a punch. They've got attack 6, which means I'll be rolling a 4 or less against my cruisers. But he can build more of them, is the problem. Because they're 1 hull size rather than 2, he can turn those that fleet of 11 into 11 ships rather than 5 ships and one hull ship. So I don't know if I want them to do that. So the reason I'm pondering that is that I'm thinking, do I want to get myself an attack technology, or I think move technology doesn't affect them. However, they will get a free move tech on economic phase 6, so at the end of the next turn, when they're doing their economic phase, their ships are going to get faster, and they will be able to move 1 hex in turn 1, 2 hexes in turn 2, and 2 hexes in turn 3, which is not good. I wonder if it might be worth me getting Move Tech then, because they don't get research points from that. MV times 125, so that puts me down to 52, 32. I could build 2 more cruisers somewhere, probably here. And I can build a transport, which is gonna be another 6 points. So that'll be 30, so I'm left with 2 points. I can build a transport here, I can build the cruisers here. So I have shipyard tech of 2, which means my 3 shipyards can build 6 hull points. I mean, I could build a cruiser here then. I mean, sorry, the transport there. That might work. Okay. Whoops. Sorry, nudge the camera. Where did I put my transports? Did I take them out? Yes, I did. Alright, here we go. Transports. So I'm going to build my transport. Also, before I forget, these colonies become... Oh, sorry, wait a minute. Pause for a sec. Let me just finish my ships here, because I've got to do some other stuff here. So I'm going to build a transport here. That's what the transport looks like. It's like a rebel transport from Star Wars, really. And I'm going to build 2 cruisers, which, where's the other group? There. Now, what I've forgotten to do for the replicators is build hulls on their homeworlds. When did I do that again? At the end, right, yes. So every hull, or every full homeworld produces another hull. Right now, these are at 3, but at the end of this phase they'll turn into 5, so next turn those will be able to produce. But at the moment we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here, so this is going to combine with this fleet to make a 3. So this is now a 3 hull, and this one's going to produce as well. So yeah, they just make ships. So they have a whole horde more stuff. And now these are going to turn into fulls. So next turn they're going to be able to produce as well. Now I'm theoretically sort of crippling myself a bit as well, because I've got terraforming. Do I have terraforming 1? No, I don't have terraforming 1. So I don't have terraforming 1. There's a now empty barren world here. There's a barren world right next to my home world. I could have colonized those worlds and be getting another 10 points from my colonies eventually there, and I haven't even touched Arcturus yet. So I'm theoretically about 15 points down on what I could be, which is not ideal. But that's where we're at. So that is end of turn 7. And that's where my sheet is at the moment. So we'll see what happens now in turn 8. So we're back to the replicators. And what are we going to do with them? So Yeah, they're going to want to keep heading towards that human fleet there, really, aren't they? Now, ironically, they would have attacked the non-player alien world if they had a hull size of 12. They only have a hull size of 11. So where are they going to go? Do they want to go this way or this way? At the moment, they're still outnumbered. So I think they're actually going to want to go this way, because they also like to hide in asteroids and nebulae. So they're going to go over there. These guys are going to come up here. This guy's joined on with him to make a, well, I guess a 7. This is now a 7 fleet. I'll just do it like, well, I'll do it like that, so it's a 6 and a 1 with 1 counter. So they that was the ones that were already in there. They're going to move out into this asteroids as well. These ones, again, these are just going to move out. These all head out here towards the fleet assimilation point. This guy moves back. He's already gone. That exploration ship's already gone. So we're now left with this guy, who is going to actually split off a hull to go investigate this alien world down here. I think that was okay to do. Yeah, with the exception of missions, replicator fleets never split, and this is a mission to earn a non-player alien research point. So they split off a fleet to do that. So they're actually going to move into here and kind of suicide themselves. So, I mean, that's all of their combat, or moving in combat anyway. So this is a sort of cruiser and battle cruiser aliens versus a single what are we on? It's a hull size 1. So the best hull size 1 we can muster at the moment is a Type 4 hull, which is one of these. So it's not actually a Type 0, it's a Type 4. So that's what they look like. Type 0 is E201 and a Type 4 is E511, which is considerably better. So it might stand some kind of chance. It's almost equivalent to the cruisers, but it's slower. And they also have Tactics 1 too. So aliens are going to go first. The 2Bs are going to fire first, like this interloper. They're going to let rip with they're rolling 5s, I believe, to hit. 6 minus the defensive 1, and they roll a 9 and a 6, so they've missed. The cruisers are going to fire second. The Cs, they're going to roll a 4 or less, and they miss. The Type 4 is going to fire back, and they are rolling a 3. It doesn't really matter who they try and hit, but they're going to try and hit the B, I suppose. They need a 3 to hit because the aliens have defense 2. So they need a 3. They got 0, so they've survived, shockingly. Now, second round, they could actually back out. Not sure if they can retreat, but given that they are driven by self-preservation, it might be a better idea. So they like popped in, scanned them, took a few pot shots, and then ran out, theoretically. So the B ships are going to fire at the round 2. The B ships are going to fire at the Type 4 again. Again, they need 4s. Sorry, 5s to hit. Did I say 4 before? 6 minus 1. No, they need 5s. Again, 9 and a 0. Good God. The alien ships are going to fire. The Cs are going to fire, so they need 4s to hit. 8 and a 5. This guy is actually going to take this opportunity to flee back to the main thing, but he's stuck as a 4 now, is the problem, because he can't unconfigure himself except at a colony. But that's interesting. So there was pot shots. There was shots exchanged, but nobody actually got damaged. The scout could run away at the end of the second, or during the second round, but got enough to have encountered aliens and got them the 8th research point. So they just need 1 more to start building those Type 9s, which are not great. And they're only likely to get that. Actually, they're going to get that. Oh, they're definitely going to get that, because this is, hang on, there's 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they're going to get that if they encounter that fleet, because they get a research point when they encounter a fleet with 5 or more ships. Oh dear. Is it better to face the Type 7s than the Type 9s? Oh, they're tougher. They're harder to hit. They're faster. But there's less of them. With 11 ships, or with 11 hull, they could make 5 of those. With 11 hull of Type 9, they can make 11 of them. They make 5 of those and the Type 4. Which is not going to be good. But they're going to get ahead of me there, aren't they? I think we're going to have to throw ourselves at them, really. So I have moved 2 though, right? So on the second turn that might count for something. Not good. Gonna have to make a push somehow. And I think this is gonna end up being, there's gonna be a huge fight eventually. And whoever wins that fight is going to be the winner of the game. I mean, if they win that fight, I'm toast. Because I've got nothing else to throw at them at the moment, really. I know it's just going to be a matter of time. But I've got to... The problem is I can build my fleets up, but the longer I take to build my fleets up, the more their ships are just going to start massing and heading my way anyway, right? So yeah. And they've outwitted my minor decoy strategy there, haven't they? So I think... So turn 2... Well, turn 1, sorry, we're here, right? I think we're just going to have to plow ahead, and we're going to intercept around here, and it's going to be horrible. We'll see what happens. These guys are going to come out. So sorry, we're on turn 1. These guys are going to come out here. Or maybe actually they're gonna go into the nebula, and they can head out that way. The miners here aren't really they're not really going to do anything. They can't attack these obviously because they're non-combat ships, but they could distract them at least. I think they're just going to get annihilated anyway, though, either way. Right, just while I'm deciding. Explorer ship's going to go back there. This ship's going to go there. This ship's going to go there. Sorry. What am I doing? I'm moving the wrong things. Because they don't move, I'm moving. Nah, whatever. I'll just put them in the way there, and they're going to just get destroyed anyway, but they're kind of cluttering my place up anyhow. That's all I can do there. So turn 2. So they're still not powerful enough to take me on, though. They're still weaker, but they're going to be stronger in a second. Yeah. So anyway, they're going to move there. They're going to move there. They're going to move here. They're going to move there. That's going to make this a 4 hull fleet. I think at this point they're going to just annihilate my miners. That just goes away because they're non-combat ships. So I didn't really delay them at all. It was more for if they encountered them on their third turn, they would have to, they can't just go through them, they have to stop there and fight them and destroy them. So over here, I think this lot are going to stay put because this fleet is going to join them with, or not join them, but not merge with them, but it'll join them, if you get what I mean. So now they've got 14 and I've got 12, 15, 16, and that is more like an equal level of ships. So now they can actually take me on, and this big fleet is going to come over here in the asteroids as well. So now I've got to, I mean, essentially I'm going to be leaping ahead, which might be interesting. Shoot, I may be in a bit of a bind here. Just realised something. So, and I think that's all of their ships moved, but I've just realised something horrible because I have moved 2. So, sorry, moved 3 now. So I can move there. I've got 2 moves. In turn 3, though, I have to stop here in the nebula. and these guys can basically, they can move well, they can move here in turn 3. No, they can move up here in turn 3 as well, so they can catch me from behind there, I think. If I'm moving here at the end of turn 2, at the start of turn 3, they're going to move there as well. So we'll have our fight there. I thought we'd be having our fight in the nebula, which would be bad. Because everyone is a rank E in the nebula, and all the defense technology which I have, which is just 1, but that goes away as well. And that's not great against ships that can fire at 6. Well, I'm going to move my ships down here. I'm going to look up something with the miners, like what they have, how the move tech affects miners. Because that could be important, whether they can use that. No, mining ships aren't affected by that. So they're only going to move 1. So, I mean, if he wants to move, he can just move there. And then, I mean, there's no other ships for me to move. So now I'm thinking they're going to actually have that fight. But let's move all the other ones. So we're in turn 3 now. The Explorer is going to come back to a homeworld here, turn itself into 2 unconfigured hulls at Omega. So the exploration ship has done its job. We can go at 2. So now, I mean, that Vega is undefended. That Type 4 can get to it. That's not good. That's really not good. I might be sacrificing some planets here, but the Type 4 can get to Vega. This is going to come down to here. Oh, this is very bad. Although Aslak is nearer than Vazir, so they're going to want to come over here and destroy this first. So I might have some chance to build bases and so on next turn, but I think I've woefully miscalculated here. Vega is under attack. This fleet, so this is all going to come in here. So I'm going to put the battle thing here. I'm going to move all these ships out, and we're going to make some hulls over here, because they're all going to move into this hex and engage with my fleet. This one's going to come over here. This one's going to join up with this fleet. And that's it, really, isn't it? So here we have well, here we have a battle, and it's not so much a battle as the Type 4 is just going to fire at the colony, and if it hits, it hits. It's got a 5. I don't have defense values for colonies or anything, so it's got a 5, it's hit it, and it's reduced it to a 3. And that colony is now blockaded, and it's probably doomed. because this fleet's going to come in here and start annihilating it. Over here though, so we've got a 14 versus a 12, 15, 16. And that is an equal rating. It's not an inferior anymore. So these ships, they're going to get a tech for encountering a fleet with 5 to 10 ships in it. So they got another tech which will get them up to type 9, but they only gain that after the combat, like on the turn after the combat. So right now they're at tech 8. So this is what they look like at the moment. They've just crossed this off. Now they're at 9, but they will be at the end of this combat. So next turn they'll be at a 9, but right now they are at an 8, which means they can build the type 7 ships. So that means they are turning them into the highest thing possible. So we've got 14 hull worth of ships. Ouch. That's not good. That's really not good. That is in fact terrible. 14. So that is yeah, 7. Ooh, that's 7 type 7 hulls. That ain't good. Which we will represent by a simple type 7. So here's a type 7. It is tactics 1, rank C, 6 attack, 2 defense. It is way more powerful than anything I've got. So that's going to be fun. So we'll get all this off and have the battle of our lives here and watch as we probably get annihilated. And then after that, it's pretty much game over if they kill me here. So they have 7 of these. I need 7 of these counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which I'm just going to do like this. Let's say they're arranged in a formation like that, and then my 6, I'm going to get 3. Go get a bunch of 6 counters for that. 5, 6. These are not representing screening or anything, it's just this is the layout that I'm using. So that's what we've got. I'll put that there, I'll put that there, and then you can know that that is what all that is. So 7 type 7 hulls versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ships. So nobody is outnumbering anyone enough to do anything. They're all at sea. I have defense tactics 1. They have tactics 1. They moved into my hex. So they are. I am the defender on the tactics front, which means I go first. So my cruisers actually fire before they do. My Argo fires before them, and the scout fires after them. So I'm going to put that there. That's going to make that a bit obvious, I suppose, a bit more obvious. We'll just do something like that. Alright, Argo is going to fire at one of their cruisers, one of the sevens. Argo needs a 2. Oh, this is going to be awful. Almost a 1, but no, it's a miss. My cruisers then fire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to roll all these dice at once. 4 dice. That's 4 of the cruisers. They also need 2s to hit. They got 1 hit, and there's 2 more dice because I've got 6 cruisers. 1 hit. That's another 1. One of their cruisers is down. I've done 2 hits. That's semi-reasonable. And the scout needs a 1 to hit. That's incredibly unlikely. That's a 4. So that is not so. Sorry, I'm not rolling the scout. I'm rolling their ships. So ignore that last roll. I've got 6 of these are going to now attempt to hit. I have defense of 2 on the Argo and the cruisers, and I've got a defense of 1 on the scout because I have the defense technology 1. Who are they going to fire at? Actually have a logic of who they're going to fire at, or alright, yeah. Highest attack strength? Well, they all got highest attack strength. Lowest hull size first, so they're going to fire. One's going to fire at the scout, so they need a 5. They got a 3. Scout goes boom. Poor scout, he lasted so long. That's one of them fired. The other 5 are going to fire at cruisers. So I'm just going to roll 5 dice. And they need a, I've got 2 defense effectively on the cruisers, so they're going to need a 4 or less to hit. Ow, that's not a good one. That's 1 and a 2 and a 1. So 1 cruiser's dead. 1 is damaged. That was 4 hits. Or 4 attacks. And they're rolling 1 more attack. 8. Right, so we've lost a cruiser, and we lost a scout there. That's not good. Right, we need some kind of miracle here. 5 of us plus the Argo against 6 of them. So 6 against 6, but the odds are in their favour, really. The only way, I mean, there's no point in retreating, because if I retreat, they're just going to follow me next turn and annihilate me. Because the only places I can retreat to are nebula and asteroids and an empty space here, which isn't going to help. The nebula and asteroids are going to be awful. So I'll throw some more stuff at them now, I guess. Argo is going to fire at one of their ships, so Argo needs a 2. Gets a 7, not good. Again, my ships are the defender. So I've got 5 dice, or 5 attacks, also at 2s, and 4 of those miss, and 5 of those miss, unsurprisingly. And they are at 4s on me. Again, they're going to target the cruisers. They have 6 dice. Oh, they roll incredibly well. 3 hits. And 2 more. 3 hits, 4 hits. I lose 1 whole cruiser. I lose a damaged one, and a third one gets damaged. So, not good. Not good at all. I'm now down to 3 cruisers and 1 flagship. If I leave, at least I will heal the damage. If I go into the nebula, the nebula cancels out their... Well, I mean, honestly, I mean, the only place I can go is in the nebula because there's enemies in there. But nebula cancels out defense tech, puts everyone to E. I would be the defender. So I would fire first, but I'm still, you know, they're going to be rolling 6s to hit rather than 5s to hit, or 4s or whatever. So that's going to be a suicide. Whereas if I retreat, I can get out, but then their fleets are both going to jump me, and that's the end. But there's no way I'm going to destroy them, so with what I have now. But they're going to keep chasing me. Yeah, I think I've doomed myself here. I'm going to retreat anyway. Just so I can try and get out of there, but it's not going to be good. So I'm going to come out here, and they have their 6 type 7s now, which are horrendous. And not only that, but this lot, because next turn that lot can turn themselves into type 9s, which there's going to be like 7 of them, I think. So, oh, they're so dead, that fleet. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I think that is basically game over for me. I don't think I can... I'm going to have to create bases down here or something to fend off this fleet. I mean, admittedly, there's not a lot of them, but now they can turn into type 9s as well. So that's not good. I mean, we're into the economic phase of 8 now. And this isn't going well. I'm going to have to play this against a person and actually see what the human tactic would be, but they're hard. They're definitely hard. Because you leave it too long, you know, you'll have an easy victory at the beginning, because I mean, I blew up their flagship and one of their fleets early on, because they weren't very advanced in terms of their research points. But now that they're up to, you know, this type 9, type 7 level, you know, like I said, I'm having to cripple myself almost to prevent them from getting even tougher ships, because I mean, they can go all the way up to A11-5, which is ridiculous, like super dreadnoughts. But the more I improve my tech, you know, okay, it increases my survivability a little bit, but their offensive capabilities get so much bigger that I can't keep up with that. So I don't know if, as well. I mean, I possibly made a huge mistake by having one fleet. Maybe if I had several fleets, all probing into replicator space in different areas, that would mean that they don't amass a single big fleet to take me out. Of course, now they do have a single big fleet, which will take me out, and after it's taken me out, it can survive and move around and take everything else I throw at it out. So, yeah. So I was going to see if... No, I can't build a base at a blockaded colony, right? So I can't build a base here. Could build a base there. I can build bases here, but not at Vega because it's getting attacked, and I have nothing to throw at it to defend it, basically. Now I believe that was their turn, wasn't it? So I've actually got a turn of movement after them. So if I retreated, can I just get the duck out of Fodge there and just run away real quick? Because that would be interesting. Yeah. That's interesting. I can get the heck out of there. So I have a move too. Like my minor is going to just move back here. These guys are just going to retreat back to Babbage. They're just going to get away. They've drawn them out over that way. These guys are going to head up here. They're going to join with this bunch, and then maybe we'll try and go that way or something. I mean, they're going to give chase, no doubt, but either we can lure them back to the colony worlds and maybe mount the defense there if we build loads of bases this turn. That could be an option. Alright, well, we'll see. Let's do the production, because now I think we've moved everything. I mean, I suppose I can I'll move them over there, the transports over to that hex as well. Might as well have them join up with the fleet. And that's it. So, replicator production. So we're going into the economic phase of 8 now. So, the replicators now get an extra move because they are on economic phase 8. That ain't good. They have 5 CP left over from last turn. They can't do anything with that. So they're simple. They do nothing. They haven't got any points to spend or research to buy because they don't have enough CPs. They need 30 and they only have 5. And they can't build extra hulls on their home worlds. But they can build the normal hulls on their home worlds, which is what they're going to do now. So let's get all this out. They have a new massive number of ships coming out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oops, 7. I've actually run out of things. 8. So this is now, I'll call that a 3, what I remember. So that's a 3. And that's a ship, and that's a ship. Right. Wowzers. Okay, and this is now a 3 as well. I don't know what is going on with these anymore. Right, that's fun. So you see, like they can just build like 10 ships straight up, 10 hulls, and I cannot do that. I have 2 CP left from last turn. I have, now this isn't producing any points now because it's blockaded, I believe. What does that mean? Does not produce. So yeah, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 30 plus 30, I've got 60 points. Vega is toast basically at this point. I got no minerals, 60 points. My maintenance has dropped. So I have, I've only got 3 cruisers, 5 cruisers, and a transport. So that's 11. So I'm down to 49 to spend. 49. How many destroyers, for example, could I build with that? Is that even worth it? I don't think that's even worth it. No, 49, I'm going to need bases. I could build 4 bases. One at Aslak, one at Vasir, Tempe, and probably Bendon. Alright, that's all the bases I have now, actually. That could be a possibility. I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to build 4 bases and be done with that. So I'm going to build a base at Aslak, a base at Vasir, which is my home world, a base at Tempe, and a base at Bendon. And that's all the bases I can build. Yeah. I mean, I think this game's going downhill pretty quickly. I have 1 left over. That's where we're at. So that's me, and that's the replicators. They now have move 3. I have move 3 as well, but that's not going to be helping me much. Now this is an interesting situation. So I can make a dash this way. Because if these combine, and then I can go, like these guys come back here, that's 1. These guys are going to move into this hex, fine. But then I can go here in turn 2, right? They will go maybe here or here. Depends what they want to do. If they go here, they can move out into here in turn 3, and then they'll catch me. But if I could draw them away, that might be interesting. And I'm going to have 5 cruisers. That's 10, 13, 14 hull. And they're going to have 14 hull. That's still going to be a tempting target. I was just thinking, like, would I be able to get past them? Yeah, unfortunately they can go through here. And that's going to mean they're going to catch up with me, and that's not going to be good. Yeah. So I'm just trying to plan out how this turn's going to go down. I could, if I combine them here, then I can move 2 and then 2, and then he would have to go 1, 2, and then there, that'll be 1 hex behind me. But of course he's going first, isn't he? He would go first there, I would go second, he would go there, I would go here, or here, and then he'll jump on me there, so bugger. And then there's this fleet as well. Oh, I'm screwed either way. Unless I just gun it down here and try and go around. Because I have no qualms about going into a folding space, because it's just an empty, I believe it's just an empty hex otherwise, if it doesn't connect to another folding space. Oh. Actually, on its own, it's like that hex doesn't exist. So I could sort of head over here, get to here, and then if I move 1, I'm actually there. And then I can go over it. Which is interesting. I didn't realise it had an effect on its own. Oh, I've like completely misunderstood how that works then. Huh. So a fold-in space isn't like a warp point. It doesn't, if there was a fold-in space here, I wouldn't be able to go, I'm going to go through here and then I'm going to come out here. It's just as if that hex doesn't exist. So they're not paired with anything. They're just a single thing. And it's just, I think the example, they say here is that you know, they have 2 folding space next to each other. Then if I started here, I would end up there. Oops, bumped the camera again, sorry. Huh. Well, that's interesting. That's rather interesting. little bit there. I'm also going to attempt to see if I can if it's any better with my other glasses on. Might work. Right. And then if I move that over there. Right. Okay, that might work a little better. Right, so turn 9. Or phase 9. I don't know how much longer I can keep going here, but because if it still carries on, if I'm still not finished today, I might actually just do a stream on, I don't know, Wednesday night or something, and see if I can finish it then. Because I did want to start, I did want to do a game of Warfighter on Friday if I could. Or we could do this on Friday, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see where we can go here. So, how are we going to do this now? So they're going to go first. Currently they are superior to me, so they're going to want to move towards me anyway. These guys are just going to hop over here. They're going to stay there for now because they're the assembly point. Plop, plop, plop. And we're going to put 3 here. How many ships are in this hex now? So 7, 8, 9. I'm going to just merge this into a 6 and a 3. So this is a 9 hull fleet on the Assimilation marker here. Shortly become a 12 mark fleet in the next turn. So they've all moved. I think these guys are going to move here together. They're 2 separate fleets still though, because this one's already configured itself as the Type 7s. The other ones are likely to turn themselves into 7 Type 9s now that they can afford it. And they have, what is it, they got 7. Yeah, they can actually annihilate that that alien planet. They might actually want to do that, because that could be one of their missions. Conquering an NPA planet. Never be triggered if there's more than 1 human combat ship outside of human space. Well, there is. So, and this is a small map, and yeah, I don't think they are actually going to be wanting to attack the I don't think they are going to be wanting to attack the alien planet. So they move there. This lot are going to move here, and they are going to turn into 2 Type 9s, and they are going to join in the attack on Vega. Type 9s are nasty little buggers. They are D611, and they are not as bad as Type 11s. I think I've got a type 11 in the wrong thing there. But yeah, they're going to turn into 2 type 9s. So we've got a type 4 and 2 type 9s bombarding the colony here. We're going to have 5s and 6s. So I'm going to say the orange is the type 9, black is the type 4. So that was a 5. There's 2 more hits, but that's knocked it down to 0. So Vega, well, the colony on Vega anyway, has been destroyed. I guess we'll just cover it up with a counter there. So yeah, Vega is kaput. That is the beginning of the end, probably. So that's them. Yuck. Right, what am I going to do over here? I'm going to consolidate that lot there, I guess. So the question is, what is this fleet going to do? Is it going to want to move here, or is it going to want to move down here? Because I think usually they say they want to head toward asteroids if they're nearer. So they're probably going to do that, aren't they? But I'm going to merge this fleet here. So I got 5 cruisers again. 5 cruisers. I've got my miner, my transport, and my flagship for good measure. I don't know why the miner's there. I suppose it's adding a hull. Do non-combat ships count for hull comparisons? Do not count non-combat ships. So the miner doesn't really matter. And when you do a combat with non-combat ships, you just yeah, they have to still fight them. So it could be worth keeping the miner as that rear, if they can, as that rear guard thing. I could. I mean, if this fleet gets out of there, this replicator fleet is going to come down here, and then it's just going to start probably attacking Bendon, which could be interesting because that base is actually quite tough. It might be able to take out some of their ships. But they've got quite a good chance of hitting it. That could be an option. Yeah. Okay. Alright, well they've moved. So that's the end of turn 1. So turn 2, I've got to try and stop planning ahead. You know, before I get to the turns. Turn 2, this lot are going to join up with this fleet, so that's 1, 2, 3 more hulls to add to that list. That is now a 12 hull fleet. That's a 12 hull fleet. This is going to be a 5 hull fleet. With all that lot accumulating there. Now, try as they might, these guys are not going to be able to attack here because they have to go through this. They can, conceivably, annihilate this alien homeworld. But let's just have another look at their move thing, because like I said, I'm pretty sure they want to go through asteroids, but let me just see where was the thing I saw that said that. Replicator ships. We're not into black holes or supernovas. Always prefer to be turned back to unrevealed hulls. If they can move through a replicated colony without having to travel further than otherwise, they always will. Well, they're all out of the way. If there's a choice between two hexes that both fulfill a movement priority equally, the replicator will choose to destroy the one that has unescorted non-combat ships. Really? Huh. But then it also says that they prefer to enter asteroids and nebulae, so multiple hexes are equally viable according to the movement rules. Roll randomly. Well, at the moment, it's interesting it says replicator ships and fleets always prefer to be turned back into unrevealed hulls, which kind of implies that this fleet actually wants to go back here and get turned into a unrevealed, unconfigured hulls again, which is interesting, because that means that fleet becomes a bit more bearable, although it just becomes 7 Type 9s instead of 5 Type 7s or whatever. But that would make sense, wouldn't it? So let's move him back there. Let's move them here. So we're going to move him out of there. So I think I've moved all that lot. I don't remember what I'd done with them. I think I'd merged them, hadn't I, already, so they're not going to move. So let's do that on their turn 2. And these guys, I mean, they'd like to be turned into unconfigured hulls, but they're deep in human space, so I think they're probably going to want to attack something. But this base is actually tougher, because it says bases should be treated as 6 hulls, and this is only a 3 hull, and they're vastly outnumbered everywhere else. So what do they want to do when it comes to conquering could conquer an undefended planet? That's interesting. In fact, what does it happen? What happens when it tries to destroy a human colony? Because now, essentially, these are uncolonized planets, so they could actually convert these back into colony unconverted hulls. Because it seems that they'd want to do that, wouldn't they? Colonizing an undefended planet. If there's ever an undefended and uncolonized planet, so the replicators will send 1 ship to colonize that planet. Limited by self-preservation. That's interesting, because that's now undefended, isn't it? So I think they would have sent... where did they come from though? They came from here, didn't they? So they would have sent one hull off in that direction to colonise Babbage for a start. But I'm thinking actually that these two down here, they're going to want to colonise these worlds. So they actually do turn themselves back into a, or at least one of them will turn them back turn itself back into a unconfigured hull, leaving the Type 9. This will turn itself back into a hull, and they're going to actually they're going to colonize 2 of my worlds, which is interesting. I think that's what happens there. And then this guy is actually, I think he's going to want to run away because he just can't deal with any of these things. He'll get annihilated, so he has to go back to a colony. So he's going to head back that way towards the colony, which is interesting. Okay, so my turn 2. Basically, I think if I make a run for it around here, it could be interesting. I could get their world before they get me. I mean, there's quite a lot of ships there though. But that seems to be a move that might work. So my move 2 now, I can head over this way. I don't know why I've got the miner there. Well, I could actually leave the miner here, right? And they will attack him. But is that going to delay them? I don't think it's going to delay them, is it? Not really. It's not going to slow them down. So, sorry, and the miner can't come with me anyway at that speed. So he's just going to go there. I think it's not worth... It doesn't make any difference. If he stays there, he's going to get instantly destroyed, and he's not going to slow them down or damage them or do anything. So I'm going to have these go ahead. He can only move 1. And I think that's... I mean, that's basically my move. Their turn 3, they are... So he's going to... Well, he's going to go here. So this is now a 6. They're getting a lot of big fleets just massing there. They're going to start moving in my direction now, I feel. And speaking of moving in my direction, these are both 6s now. So they're going to move into that nebula. He's going to come back there. He's going to go back there. They're going to come out here. And I believe he's going to jump on there now, isn't he? I think that's his thing. Yeah. So they get converted back into 6 non whatever unconfigured hulls. This lot are going to come out here as well. I think that's everybody moved, right, on their side. And then I'm I'm going to continue my mad dash around here and hope and pray that I can make it around this corner. And I'm going to move that here and see what happens. So, end of that turn. Where are we? 10:31. So, end of that phase. Now it's a race. Whether can they destroy my worlds first before I destroy theirs? Because it's going to be me zooming around here, them coming down here and trying to tear this lot up. And of course I may add some more defences down here, so because now these are the juicier targets for them. So that supernova might be the key. So anyway, I'm gonna do the sheets here. So the replicators get their customary billion hulls to build. Again, they only have 5 points. So their sheet is pretty boring. They don't get to spend anything. All they do is build hulls. And they build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's going to be another hull on that one, so we're going to call that 7 hulls here, and that's that. That's all they do. Me, on the other hand, I am going to cry and panic. What have I got? I've got one. I've lost. Well, I don't have these. Oh, these are turning into ones for. How am I going to denote this? I'm assuming I can do this. I'm just going to call this a 1 and a 1, like so. These are actually replicator worlds now. I'm assuming this happens. I could be completely wrong, but we'll see. I think at this point I've deviated so far from the actual what the replicators should do in a game, in a solo game thing, that I'm practically making up the rules as I go along here, I think. But hey, it's kind of broadly sort of right, maybe, but yeah, they're a lot harder to manage than the Doomsday machines are. Right, so I mean, if you're watching and actually know how this should work, then by all means do pipe up and let me know. I would love to know. And say hi in the chat, etc. So I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, I've got 60 points. I now have 1, 10. That's 11. Again, 11. So I've got 49 points to spend again. At this point, do I want to get more tech? Is that gonna help me? Or do I just want to build ships? Because I could build 4 cruisers with that somewhere. where would I be able to build that? I can build 3 cruisers here, which might be kind of in range of where I want to go. If I want them to join up with that fleet or tag along behind them. 3. What are these? These are 6 hulls. I've only got 1 thing there. I got 4 here. Yeah, I'm wondering if I could build like a fleet to sort of stand here so that it'll block these guys, and maybe weaken them while this lot runs ahead. Do. Yeah, I mean, if I could build 4 cruisers, that would be nice. Yeah, screw it. Let's just build 4 cruisers and see what happens. So, cruisers again. I can build 3 at this base or at this shipyard. And I can build 1 here. I don't know if it's going to be able to get anywhere. Oh yeah, also this guy flips. Sorry, this one becomes a replicator colony as well. I can build. Where am I going to build the other cruiser? I suppose I'll build it on the homeworld. Might keep him at the homeworld, to be honest. Where's my cruiser groups? That's 4. That's 3. Right, I'll build the cruiser over there. Okay. Think we're done. So this is a desperate mad dash now. If I can get to their homeworld and just bomb it into oblivion before anything else happens, we may be in a good spot. Yeah. Alright. Turn 10, I believe, or phase 10. Something happened in turn 10? Replicator colonies begin to deplete at the start of economic phase 10. So the next economic phase, what happens? What does depleting do? Full colony closest to the replicator homeworld is depleted. It's essentially it's removed from the game. Huh. So what's the closest colony? That's this one. That's quite handy. That will go away. And then the next closest one is going to go away, which is one of these 2. Or one of these 3, 4 even. But it's got 3 new colonies here, so that's not a huge problem. But yeah, okay. Well, I survived till turn 10. That's a bit of a miracle. Right. What are they going to do? So that's not a ship. That's a 6. That's equal. That's inferior. I suppose it's going to want to attack that, isn't it? It's an inferior human fleet of just a minor. It'll prefer to attack that than this, because this is a 6 hull. Because bases are treated as double. There's 6 hull, that's equal in hull number. This is an easier target. Does it want to go into a nebula though? I think I would have to roll randomly to see what it wants to do. Does it want to go to a nebula, or does it want to go to an unescorted non-combat ship? Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? These are 6 of them, right? I guess 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, and a 0 is going to be a reroll. 1 to 3, 4 to 6. I roll the 4. So it's going to go here and attack the miner and destroy it. These guys, there's asteroids and nebulae and things. Sorry, it's turn 1, isn't it? It was up there, wasn't it? Yeah, it's only got 1 move at the moment. So it's going to go there, sorry, because that's the nebula. Okay. These guys are going to asteroid. There is an asteroid there, but it's backwards. Why would they want to go backwards? They have no reason to go backwards. They're going to go this way. These guys are going to come out here. These guys are going to come out here. They're going to go back in there. These guys are going to accumulate here. These guys are going to accumulate here. He's going to come out there. He's going to come out here. And I guess that's all their moves, right? You know what I could do to show, use a replicator planets rather than use up these counters. I'm just going to put the purple tiles on these ones, and then we can know that they're replicator planets. So my turn. What am I going to do? Right, I gotta make a break for it. Now the problem is this fleet, which is, oh my god, that's massive. That's gonna kill me. Oh no, that's gonna kill me. That's gonna completely annihilate me. Because they're gonna be able to move on me now, because they've got move 2. Shoot! Oh, so close. Because what I was going to do was go around here and then jump that way. I mean, if I got here, if I survived that, I could go there because I'd move 2 through the fold of space over to this hex, and then of course I'd face that lot. But now I'm in a spot of trouble because I'm going to be dealing with 12 ridiculous ships. Yeah. Oh, nuts. Because that's 12 hulls. Hang on, oops. That's 12 hulls. What is that? I've got, wait a minute, I've got 10, 15, sorry, 10, 13, 14 hulls there. They've got 12 there. It's an equal fleet. Yeah, and there's no other thing that's going to distract it, is it? They will want to move towards Now, interestingly, the movement priorities are that the fleet would attack an undefended human colony or human colony defended by an equal or inferior fleet. Well, there isn't one within range. So the second option is attack an inferior human fleet limited by self-preservation. So they don't want to be attacked by a superior force, basically. Will advance against colonies or fleets if they are equal or superior. But the thing is, their third priority is this turn attack an equal human fleet if that fleet could attack a replicator colony on its turn. Well, it can't. So it wouldn't attack it? Because then their next option is attack a non-player alien world with a replicator fleet of 12 hulls or more, and it's got 12. So it looks like what they'd want to actually do is attack Kobol here rather than my fleet on that second move. Because on my turn, I can't. I'm an equal fleet to them, but I can't attack a replicated colony. Which, again, that's the sort of logic here that okay, that's fine for a bot to do, but would a human player do that? Because a human player would totally go, oh no, I'm going to attack your fleet when it goes here. Yeah. And now I've just confused myself because where the heck am I now? I moved everything nuts. I've lost my place now. Where am I? This is my move, isn't it? Yeah, it's my move on the first turn, isn't it? All of the replicators have moved. So what I'm agonizing over here is my move over here, because in their move are they gonna come here or are they gonna come here? Because they're 12, I'm equal. They're always trying to get as close to human fleets and space as possible without being crushed by a superior force. So I guess what the best thing to do is just make it a random roll. So I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna go up here on my move. Sorry, wait a minute. What am I doing? Because I don't have two moves in my first turn, do I? Just confused myself. So I have to move one, don't I? Yeah, actually, I have to move one. Unless, I don't think I moved this already, have I? Where were they before? Hang on. Yeah, sorry, I got so distracted thinking about what was happening next turn, I forgot why I actually did this turn. I think I've already moved them, haven't I? Yeah, I must have already moved them. Yes, right, okay. I'm going to go with that. I've already moved them. Because that's why I was agonising over the next turn. I haven't moved these guys though. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to move them into the asteroids there. Because if these can slow down this fleet, that would be good. Alright, turn 2. We're going to leave that there. That's turn 2. Sorry, I got like completely confused. Right. So. Well. This delaying thing might work. Because this lot are now going to attack the miner and destroy it. So that's gone. But that did its job. This lot are going to move into the nebula. Are going to have to stop there. Now this lot... See, now there's no fleet here for them to attack, right? Sorry, this lot are going to move over here. And this lot are going to move back here to just flip over to be an unrevealed thing again. And that lot are going to move there. And this lot are going to move, they will move preferentially towards asteroids, don't they? So they can move there. So he's already moved. He's already moved. This one, out of the options, it's gonna attack Cobalt, right? So we're gonna send them down there, where they're probably going to annihilate them. But let's see how much that's going to happen. So everything is moved, except for that one. And actually that's moving on too, isn't it? So it'll move there. Everything, so we're going to basically have 12 type 9s showing up here. Fumble. Try and get this out of it. 12 type 9s versus this hapless world that doesn't know what's going to hit it. So this is entirely NPC battle. 12 ships at 6-1, but they all get to fire last because these guys have Bs and Cs. There are 2 Bs and 2 Cs. So I'm rooting for the alien ships here. They have 2, so the black ones are going to be 6 or less. No, sorry, black ones are going to be 5 or less. That's the Bs because they've got 1 defense. And these are going to fire at 4 or less because of the 1 defense. So the blacks are 5, the orange are 4. Blacks are 5, that's 1. Oranges and all that miss. So we've got 5. 1 ship down. 11 of these guys. fortunately have a whole pile of D10s in this thing. I'm going to grab a bunch of dice out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 dice. Rolling at they're all at 4s because all of the alien ships have defense 2. So 4s. And they need 4 4s out of 11 dice, which they're bound to get. 1, 2, 3, whoops, 4, yeah, 5. Yeah, 5. Those ships are annihilated. Aliens destroyed. That's that for them, basically. Okay, good thing I have my extra dice handy. I'll probably be needing those again shortly. But now there are 11 of these, and they have now turned themselves into type 9s. And actually there are 10 of them because one of them is going to turn itself into a colony to colonize that. Colonize this world since it's now empty. Okay, everyone else has moved. Now the problem is now my fleet's going to move there, and then they're going to jump on me. And we just saw what they did, and that wasn't good. That really wasn't good at all. So I could man, those ships are just lethal. Well, they're coming in here and here. I'm just gonna have to make a break for it. Screw it, because we're gonna move up here. These guys, I mean, it's 6 and 6. It's not good. I mean, I'm gonna move that there, and I'm gonna keep that there because I don't want to charge into that one. But I mean, they're gonna be cut to ribbons. They really are. I mean, there's nebulas here, but this is an inferior fleet. It's they outnumber them quite a bit. Actually, no, hang on. There's wait, no, there's 6 hull points here. That's 6, and that's 6. So these are equal fleets. Yeah, and this has got 6, and this has got this has got 9 actually with the shipyard. So this is a target they don't want to attack. So they've got a choice between nebulae and an equal fleet, which kind of sounds like they want to go to the nebulae given their preferences, but yeah. Or, like, instead of that moving there, these could, because it's moved too, they could move up to there, which might be interesting. Because they're going to be an inferior fleet. They might distract this from this fleet. Because this is now a 10. This is now a 10, 13, 14. That's a superior fleet. They don't want to attack this now. Go, boys. if I move these two over here, that's going to distract them, that's going to distract them. Or maybe even just move one of them over here, that's going to distract them. That might be all I need. Because he'll attack that. We've got 6, 12, that's 6. They can both attack this. This one can jump, head over here. Oh, sorry, that was a 2, wasn't it? No, that was a 1, yeah. This one can head here and distract that, and it will make short work of that, but that might give it the time it needs to get over here. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that there as a distraction. Yeah. Alright, turn 3. Now... these guys are going to come down here. Well, they're going to come into the nebula. No, they're not going to come into the nebula. They can't do that from there. They're going to have to just go here. I think these guys are actually going to combine here because they want to outnumber it. So this is going to be a horrible, horrible fight. These are actually going to move down to here because this is the weaker target. They are not going to want to engage with the superior fleet there. And at the moment it's not really going towards... yeah, it can't attack a replicated colony this turn. So yeah, it's going to come to this one. These guys are... well, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ships here. They're going to head out there. They're going to... well, they're going to head out to this one. These guys are going to stay there and they're going to merge with that. So there's 3 hulls there. And that's it, isn't it? So we've got a ridiculous combat here. 10 Type 9s. Where's my battle counter? Against 1 cruiser. The cruiser gets to fire first. Hooray! The cruiser gets to roll a 3 or a less. That rolled a 1. That did 1 damage. Hooray! Now I get 9 rolls on a... these were the actual dice. 9 rolls on the Type 9. 2, 3, 4. Let's try not taking out orange dice, shall we? Or black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right. 9 rolls. They only need 2 hits and they need to roll a 4 or less. Well, that was 2 1s anyway. I think this was an 8 before, but yeah, they got 2 hits. So that cruiser is annihilated in a hail of gunfire. But we got 1 of them. Okay. This is getting interesting. And this combat, this is the 12. So these all commit now and turn into Type 9s. Where are the Type 9 counters? Do I have any other Type 9 counters? No. I've got type 9 in here though. So we've got 12 type 9s in this hex versus 3 cruisers, which are not going to last long at all. But we'll see what happens. So my cruisers fire first. I have 3 of them. Sorry, there. What am I doing? Got 3 cruisers. Dice out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right. I've got 3 cruisers. They need... I've got defense 1. 3 to hit. And 1 hits. Got a 1 on that one. So I'm whittle them down to 11. And then they get 11 dice. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 dice. They need 6 hits to kill my cruisers, and they're rolling on 4 or less. That is 1, 2, it said 4 or less, right? 3, 4. And the rest are 5, 5, 5, 5, 0, 9, 6. So they've killed 2 of my cruisers, but 1 that survives. Now it's the second round, which means I could retreat, and I think I am going to retreat. I'm going to retreat here. Because that will draw those there away from my colonies while these guys shoot off this way. So now this fleet can move, and they're going to move into the fold in space and beyond it, basically. So they go 2, but this isn't here, so it's actually they move 1, 2. So now we have a chance, possibly, of attacking that world. We're going to need 2 moves to get to it, though, and this ain't good. Oh god. Because this is it. Like, if this fails, I'm just probably just going to say game over at that point, because it's going to be a case of they're just going to mop me up down here. If this fails, it's game over. But that's the end of turn 3. Actually, this lot maybe can do something else. Can I draw them away even more? Because they can move up to here. They're still not, these guys still aren't going to attack this lot because it's way more powerful down here. What is it? It's 6 and 9 here. So they're actually more powerful than this, so they could attack that. Which would be risky. Because then they can attack. If they get here, and then they destroy this, and then they get here, then that's my homeworld gone. What's the replicator homeworld actually like? In terms of attacking it. I don't know if the replicators have the 30-point homeworld. No, they don't. They only have a 5-point homeworld. Okay, because they have to destroy my 30-point homeworld. I only have to destroy their 5-point homeworld. But if I leave the ship here, this will attack this, or they'll both attack this, and that will be a 1 move, and then they'll both go 2, and then they'll both go 3. Whereas I will go 1, 2, and then attack. Oh, it's gonna be close. And they do have bases and stuff to get through. Yeah. Right. So yeah, I'm going to leave him here in the attempt to, the hope that they'll draw them away slightly, enough to buy me some time. So I think what we're going to do is pop them all over there. Right. What we're going to do is the economic phase. I think that's everybody, isn't it? Yeah. So again, replicators do nothing because they can't afford to buy anything anymore. I am going to. Oh, they're gonna. Sorry, they're gonna build their ships again, aren't they? I keep forgetting that. They are going to build hulls on their worlds, as they do. Now, at turn 10, they're losing one of their homeworlds, which is this one. This gets depleted, so it does not generate a hull. So Delta has gone. It is used up. So they are not generating a hull there, which is interesting. But they have a hull on each of these worlds, as usual. And they have hulls at 1, 2, 3 over there. Well, that's nice. They're slightly weaker. Right. And then I get to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I've got 60 again. The same amount of points as before. Ships. I got 1 cruiser. 6 cruisers. That's 12. 13. That's it. The flagship doesn't cost maintenance. So I got 47 remaining. So what can I do? I think it's time to mount some kind of huge defense force around my bases, around my colonies here, because these two are next on the hit list. That one probably is as well. I can build 6 hull. I can build 8 hull. Is it worth, again, is it worth building destroyers, or should I just build cruisers? I can build 3. I can build 3 cruisers and a destroyer. I think if I just do that, that's 36, and 1 times DD, that's 9, that's 45, that leaves me with 2 points, and I build a destroyer at the Tempe. I build a cruiser at Tempe. Build 1 cruiser at Tempe to add to the defense, and I build 2 cruisers at Vazir, which is my home world, and then that will have to do. That might push it up into a level where they don't want to attack, but now I've got 3, I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hull there, and I've got 6, 10, 14 hull there, and they have 11 hull. So what was that? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12, 11, 14. So that's equal at best. Yeah. Interesting. Also, sorry, their colonies are going to go up. I don't believe these numbers do anything for them beyond just counting down to when they're full. So that's a 1. Sorry, that's the wrong one. That's a 1. And you're gonna just grab that. Yeah. So next turn, what are they going to do? They're going to move 1 hex, right? So he's going to move there, and is it even worth it? There's 11 versus 1 cruiser. I mean, my cruiser gets to fire first. Let's see if he just blows up any... well, actually, I've got to finish all the moves, haven't I? This is going to move in here as well, but I think they're not going to... He's not going to fight them. He's going to fight the winner of them, and it's not going to be him. It's not going to be... He's not going to fight his own people. Like, he's just watching the battle. This guy's going to move down to... Now, this is 7 hull. This is 6 hull. I think he's going to... no, he's not going to move in there because that's a 2 move and he can't do a 2 move. But he's going to move down here. Again, though, it's like, does he want to move into the nebula? I think he's going to want to move down there. Otherwise, he's never going to get down to here. And the whole point of them being there is to attack the colonies. That lot are going to move there. I think this lot are going to start wanting to... I don't know if this lot are going to be going here or if they're going to be attracted to this. Again, this is like... I don't know what to do with the moves here. There's no thing of like, if replicator space is under attack, are they going to defend it? Human ship that's closer in hexes to a replicator colony than an existing replicator fleet, and there is not already a replicator fleet in replicator space and within 4 hexes. Right. So I think these actually aren't moving there because to them there's this fleet. But that said, are this fleet going to attack them? Because this is a much bigger fleet. This is a 10, 13, 14, right? This is just a 3. They're not going to attack them. They're just going to run away from them, it seems, according to their rules. Which is weird. Because they never want to attack a more hostile, a more superior fleet. Which is weird, you know, like a human player would be going, wait, that's a big threat, like move everyone towards it. But the auto player is kind of just going, no, run away from it. Even though it's bearing down on your home world. I think what it would do, really, is this lot would come back here and defend the home world. Because they're better off being 4 ships there than just 3 ships here. That would make more sense, I think. So like, these are going to start coming towards the home world. These are probably going to as well, and these are just all gonna do their automated thing. I think that's what's gonna happen. And these are probably committed to coming out, I think. They're going to head towards human space. I think that's what's going to happen there. Right, so the combat here, let's just leave it like that. I'm kind of rushing a little bit because I want to finish this off tonight. So this 11 is going to attack this 1. The 1 gets a shot off first. So they're going to attack on the 6-1. They got 4, so they need a 3 to hit. And they get an 8. And then I've got 11 dice to roll, in which case I need a 4 to hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I need 2 4s or less, which I'm bound to roll. 1, 1, 1, 1. Yeah, they're toast. So that cruiser's annihilated, but it delayed them by a fraction. And that's the end of turn 1. Turn 2. No, hang on, that's not the end of turn 1. Now it's my move. So my move is going to be, I'm just going to go here, because that's all I can do. I really wish I'd got another level of move tech, really. That would have been good, because I could have just jumped in there straight away. Yeah, in retrospect, that would have been really good. These guys are just going to hold. They're not going to do anything. And then we're in turn 2. So turn 2, this lot are going to try and attack Bendon. These guys are going to... They could move 2 hexes straight into this. Because then we got what? 9... We got 20 ships. I mean, that's going to just be pure annihilation. Because they can totally take that on. Ugh, okay, yeah, they're going to jump down here. We're going to have a gargantuan mega battle down here in Tempe. This is going to be obscene. 20... As far as I can see, I mean, again, I could be completely talking out my arse here, but it seems to be that there is now a massive fleet of Type 9 ships. 20 ships, in fact. And they're, you know, they've darkened the skies above Tempe, and there's going to be this massive reckoning between a cruiser, a base, a destroyer, and 3 shipyards, and 20 ships attacking them. So that's not great. Over here we've got the Battle of Bendon, where we've got 7 what are now going to be Type 9s, because they've just configured themselves as such, attacking Bendon. This lot are going to move down there. This lot are going to come out here. This lot are going to move there. I guess these are all going to actually... They can actually jump on them now, but they're still outnumbered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're still outnumbering them in terms of hulls, which means they're not likely to do that. So they're going to move there. That's 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 going to move there. We'll just call that what they do. Sure. Right, so the battles of Bendon and Tempe. Well, let's do Tempe first, because that's 20 dice. I'm going to be firing ahead of them on all counts. So my base, I mean, I've got 6 things firing at them, I think, or 7 things. I've got 3 shipyards, which are combat capable, a cruiser, a base, and a destroyer. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 things that can fire at them, all with different numbers. So, how's this going to work? A is going to fire first. A is the base, or the base is A. That's got a firing attack thing of 7 against their defense of 1, but they outnumber me by tons. So are they going to get a +1? I think they're going to get a +1, aren't they? Do they get the fleet thing? I think they get the fleet multiplier. I'm sure I saw that. I'm sure I saw that they got the fleet multiplier. I'm pretty sure they do get the fleet multiplier. So yeah, they massively outnumber me. So the A is rolling on a 7. They've got a defense of 1, so that the base needs a 6 or more, or a 6 or less to hit, and rolls a 1. So yay, 1 ship down. Boom. Great. Now there's only 19 of them. The cruiser needs a 3 to hit and rolls 9. The shipyards need a 2 to hit and completely miss. And the destroyer needs a 3 to hit. Rolls a 7. The 19 of these guys, and they need to figure out who they're trying to hit here. In order, I think they're going to go for shipyards first. Then the destroyers, then the cruisers. And then the base. So shipyard, destroyer, cruiser, base is how the hits are going to get allocated, and then we'll see how this goes. So this is, let's do it by halves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that 10? Yes, that's 10. So 10 dice. Oh, yeah, damn it, they're all going to be different, aren't they? Okay. Let's do this in smaller groups. 3 dice at the shipyards. They need 6s to hit. 1 hit. That's 3 dice done. So 1 hit, 1 destroyed. I will put a 3 here just to signify that. 2 more at the shipyards. That is 2 hits. So the shipyards are gone, and that is 5 dice rolled. So the shipyards are destroyed. There's 1 at the destroyer. 3, that's easily enough. 6 dice rolled. 2 at the cruisers. They need 5s to hit now. 1 hit. So that's 2 at the cruisers, right? 1 more at the cruiser. A 5. That's a hit. Cruisers are, well, the cruiser is gone. Now, so what have we got here? We've got 3, 4 and a 2, right? 9 rolled. We've got 10 more to roll on the base. They are rolling 4s. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So rolling 10 dice at the base. And I need 4, no, hang on, they got defense 3. I probably forgot that, but never mind. They've got the defense tech of 1. So they're actually subtracting 3, so it's 3s to hit the base. And they roll, they've got a 3, a 3, a 2, probably another 2, they have destroyed it. But it took all of them to do it. So Tempe is now in the hands of the replicators there. And over in Bendon, where we have our other battle. We have 7 Type 9s against the base. This is not going to be great. We're going to have the base firing first. It only gets 1 shot though. It's really annoying that bases only get 1 shot. They are firing on a 6. No, they miss. They get 0. The other ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Type 9s are going to be firing on a 3 again. And they roll terribly. They miss completely. Base fires back on a 6. Damn it. Missed. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Type 9s fire back on a 3. They get 1 3 out of all that. That's 1 damage. Still standing though. Base fires back on the 6. Gets a hit. 1 down. Type 9s on a 3. Poop. 2, 2, 1, 3. They've annihilated the base. So 10 Bendon falls. So it's down to this really. It's down to this. In the that's them moving, right? In the end of the second turn, I gotta do my move now, and my move is into their home world. So now we have a battle for their home world. So let's move this over here, because now I'm moving into their hex. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 hulls, which they are going to turn into Type 9s again. Find a Type 9. And of course I don't have a Type 9 out, do I? Type 9 1x. Give me a 1x. Right, 1x. And they had 4 hulls there, I believe. So I guess let's do it this way around. Let's see, my noggin isn't in the way there. So here's where we're at. What's the rules on that? I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself, but let me just see what happens about attacking colonies. Each ship may fire once at the colony, and the colony may not return fire. Right, so this could be it. If I defeat these ships, each of my ships gets an attack at the colony. They're essentially at strength 5, or at health 5. If I can hit them once, they'll go down to 3. If I can hit them twice, they'll go down to 1. I think if I hit them again, they'll go down to 0, or colony start. It says once researched, or a transport equipped with anti-replicator technology that's over a replicated colony at colony start stage of growth may eliminate that colony. So I think what that means is if I basically get it down to the colony start phase, because one of my ships is a transport and it has anti-replicator technology, which I transport last time, then that will kill the colony and that will end the game. So this is it really, because they're right on my doorstep. They've got this massive battle fleet right here. If I don't kill this colony, like if I don't kill this homeworld now, I'm dead. Ugh, no pressure. So, how am I going to do that? I have my Argo, and I've got 5 cruisers, and they all go before those ships, which is good. The transport goes afterwards, which is bad. And they're probably going to want, if they survive, they want to probably target the transport. So B. Also, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ships. They've got 4 ships, so I don't outnumber them. So, how are we going to do this? Argo fires at a 3, and misses. The cruisers all fire at a 3, and they get 5 rolls. I need 4 3s or less. Doesn't seem likely. Nope, I got 1. Damn it. 3. 3 hits here. Let's have a look at their firing logic again. Always fires at the ship with the lowest hull size first. It's going to be the transport, isn't it? I'm going to roll 3 separate dice. My transport has what the hell is the it's got 1.5. What the hell is a half? Oh, it's not a half. Their defense is 1. If you upgrade the ground combat tech to 3, then it becomes 2, is what that means. So they've got defense 1 built in, but I will have my defense, so they're rolling 4s. I think if they take this out, I can't do anything. I've only got the 1 transport. They roll 4 or less, then I cannot destroy their homeworld because I need that anti-replicator tech on the transport to do that. 1. 9. A miss. Second ship. Fuck. 4. A hit. They've only got 1 hull. That was it, wasn't it? It didn't matter after that. Transport's destroyed. That is it. No matter what I do now, I cannot destroy their homeworld without getting a transport up there. And I can't get a transport up there. I just don't have the time to do that anymore. Shit. Because now I don't think anything else matters. I mean, sure, I can fire back now, but it doesn't matter anymore. So whatever, I'm going to roll 3 or less on everything. I get 1 hit on that, so they're down to 2. They fire back. They aim at a cruiser. They're going to need 4s. They don't get that. I roll my dice again. I get a 1. Everything else misses. They get a miss. I miss with everything, and so on. I mean, it's going to go back and forth, but they're going to... yeah, they're going to die. They're going to die at some point. There's a 2. Boom. So they're dead. I can now reduce their homeworld to rubble, but they'll spring back from the rubble. So I got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got 4s or less on the homeworld. I get 2 hits. So they're down to a 1. But that's not going to be enough. So, because I could, if I did 1 more hit, their colony would be back to or their homeworld would be back to their starting level. But the thing with the replicators is that they always come back unless you have a transport equipped with anti-replicator technology. And I had one, and they killed it. Which removed all chance of me winning there. Maybe if I'd brought more transports out, that would have worked. I mean, that probably would have worked. And there's my failing on that one. But as it is, I only brought the 1 out. They killed it. It was a risk. And now we're at the start of turn 3. They're going to move into my homeworld, and it doesn't really matter what anybody else does. We're just going to do the homeworld battle here, because if they destroy all these guys, then it's game over. And it's going to be game over anyway, because they're going to still be there next turn if they don't destroy them. But we'll do the formality of destroying the homeworld just to get to the end and say that we did it. It was a valiant effort, I feel, but ultimately I think I needed more transports out there. It was just, if it had missed that, it would have been interesting, because they would have still survived. They would have survived that 1 round, and then they'd have to fight again. They probably would have destroyed it again in a subsequent round. So I should have brought more transports out with that, which sucks. But now we are facing 19 type 9s. Again, I don't know if this is right or wrong or what. I don't know if there's a limit of 6. I don't know. At this point, I'm I'm so confused by the rules. I don't know. maybe this is like completely illegal and there should only be 6 of them. I don't know. But yeah, I just don't know how that's supposed to work. But I think either way, like, I've blown the chance to blow up their homeworld because of that, the lack of transport. So whatever would happen here is it's going to destroy me, I feel. But that's fine. I mean, it's like the end of the night here, and I want to get this finished anyway. I'll probably have another look at this at another point once I see if I can figure out what's going on. It definitely would be worth playing this against a human player, because I think that's going to be a lot more interesting and less confusing. But let's just finish this off before I go into the post-mortem mode. All these guys are going to fire first. Base is going to fire at 6s, kills one. Cruisers are going to fire at 3s. Oh, where were you last time? 3 and a 2. That kills 2 of them. And shipyards are going to fire at 2. And completely miss. So now I've only got 16 firing now. Wow. So 2 are going to fire at... Sorry, 3 are going to fire at the base at 3s. Which all miss. That's 3. 3 more are going to fire at the base at 3s. They all miss. That is another 3. 3 more are going to fire at the base. Actually, are they going to fire at the base? They're not. They're going to change their mind. Sorry, they were going to fire at the shipyards. They need a... Yeah, technically, alright. Rewind that. They weren't going to fire at the base because they would fire at the smallest hull first. So, rewind. 4 of them are going to fire at the shipyards and they need 5s. 6s actually, because they've got the fleet advantage. 3 hits. And that was 4 of them. 1 more is going to fire at the shipyard on a 6. 1 more is going to fire at the shipyard. That's 2 down. Shipyard's gone. So 6 are done. 4 are going to fire on the cruisers at 4s. That is 1 hit. 4 more are going to fire at the cruisers on 4s. That is another hit. And I believe that's taking us to 14. 2 more, well, the 2 remaining ones are going to fire at the cruisers on the 4s, and they miss. So, cruisers and bases. I've got the base firing back on a 6, which misses. Cruiser fires back on a 3, oops, which hits. Right, I missed the thing, but whatever. And then we got to go through this whole thing again. But this time it's going to be base fire, 9s, or the 9s are going to fire at the cruisers 2 at a time. 1 and an 8, that's 2. That's a miss as well. That's 4 in total. 2 more are going to fire at the... Well, 1 more is going to fire at the cruiser. And it needs a... we established it was a 4. No, it's a 5, isn't it? It's actually a 5, isn't it? Because it's got the fleet advantage. So it's a hit anyway. So cruiser's dead. I mean, this is just mopping up now, isn't it? Base is left. So I think that was like 2 more. Or was it 1 more? It was 1 more, wasn't it? So we got 5, so there's 10 more. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At 3, no, 6, 3, yeah. At 3s. A 1, a 2, and a 2. That is enough to destroy the base. Which leaves 11, 15 to annihilate my planet on a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hits. Vizier is annihilated. Boom. Well, hang on. 6 hits goes, hang on, 30. How does it go? 30, 20, 10. 30, 20, 10, 5 eliminated. That's 5 hits. It got 6. My homeworld is kaput. Boom. So, yeah, it's pretty horrific. I'm quite sure I probably did that wrong. I have a horrible feeling I totally misinterpreted the fleet, how the fleets combine, because I'm not sure. Normally you can't get fleets that are like, you know, bigger than 6. But in this case, it seemed that I did get fleets that are bigger than 6 because their fleets combine. So I'm not sure how that works. I'll have to check that up. But it kind of ended as I suspected it might. There was an interesting bit of cat and mouse around here where, you know, I was trying to avoid the big fleet. I was going to come up here and then I doubled back and went through here and made a desperate break for their homeworld. But because of the way the anti-replicator tech works, which honestly I think kind of sucks a bit because it's really predicated on you having one specific kind of ship there, and that's a bit weird because I wonder, you know, why wouldn't all your ships be equipped with anti-replicator technology? But I mean, that's how that is. I mean, it's probably my fault for not having enough transports in there. I should have had some more. I did get some bad luck on the die rolls. Or the dice rolls, which didn't help. But I mean, it was interesting. The replicators are definitely interesting. I think I would probably, like I said, I'd probably prefer to face a human replicator player rather than an AI one, because the AI is really, the bot's really confusing. Like the explanation for how that works in the rulebook is not as clear as it could be. So I don't know, if somebody who does know replicators, how they should work, watches this video, I would love to know what the heck I did wrong, whether I played them right, you know, what rule I screwed up, and so on. I would love to know that. So if you're watching, I guess by now, on YouTube, then please do comment and let me know, because I would love to know where I screwed up. But it was going pretty well. There was definitely an element of I could do this, you know, especially when I ended up over their homeworld. I bombed it almost into rubble, but they would have just come back, and I wouldn't have survived there long. But yeah, the massive fleet here, I'm suspicious of. I just have a horrible feeling I screwed that up. But we'll I'll have to ask around on the forums and so on. So, but at least that's done, and we are now at midnight, so it's a pretty good time to end it. So, thank you for watching that. Putting up with the disaster there at the end, but I mean, it was basically, I had to just finish it off properly, and you know, I couldn't just say, right, I'm done. You know, they were right there. I might as well roll to destroy the home world properly. I guess I will replace the Vazir with asteroids there or something. But next time we're going to go for something a bit different. So away from the sci-fi, we're on Friday, which I think is Good Friday, isn't it now? Easter Friday. I will be playing Warfighter, which is it's a World War II one. It's Warfighter World War II. It's a squad-based World War II solo game. Can be played multiplayer, but it's a co-op if you do. And I played that on last Thursday as a multiplayer, and it was pretty fun. But it's a really good little solo game. I will go into all the details about it then when I introduce the game to you all. Yeah, come along for that. It'll be fun. We'll see if our squad, band of brothers type folks will survive doing a mission into German-held Europe in World War II. Okay, so with that, I'm going to head off. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope that was followable. The VOD will be up on YouTube probably tomorrow at this rate, at some point, so keep an eye out for that there. As I said, if you have any comments or if you want to point out where I made a horrendous number of mistakes, then please do. I would love to know where I screwed this up if I did. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the fleet combining I got horribly wrong. But it seems like ridiculous that they've got ships with 20 or fleets with 20 ships in them flying around. I mean, that would just annihilate everything. So I think I screwed that up. But hopefully it was fun to watch for the most part, mistakes notwithstanding. Yeah, so I will see you on Friday for Warfighter World War II, and I will sign off. So thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Ta-ta!